Okay, I'm field professor here, but I've been involved in this AI business for more than 30 years, right? Back in the 90s, I was already working in a company in which we were providing AI solutions. And here what I want to do today is to share a little bit my experience on what works and what doesn't. Basically what works, right? So I'm here, right, in a more, say, scholarly mode that you should do this, right? A little bit fatherly. What works in trying to implement AI solutions. Basically because if we want all these conversation ideas to work, we need to be successful. You know very well that AI has been running through winters and summers for the last 70 years almost, okay? Because it's a concept that it is 70 years old almost. So probably I think it's the right time that we do it right for once and that we keep this eternal spring in which we seem to have been living. You see? Well, of course, generative AI, you need to provide a very beautiful image. So I use this image sometimes to comment on the creativity of generative AI and possibly not in the very good or not in the very bad sense. But it's a cool image. Now, first thing we need not to forget, and I'm sorry about this, but okay, AI are math. Right? These are math techniques that perform certain tasks that somehow we label to be human. Okay? So there are tons of definitions of artificial intelligence, but none of them really or truly coincides or really hits the nail in the sense that artificial intelligence is a very good name. My joke always is that computer scientists are very good at naming, right? If you need to name your product, ask a computer scientist, right? Artificial intelligence, big data, data science. I mean, come on. These names sell by themselves, okay? Now, what's the point? The point, probably you don't get to read it. This is a visual acuity test. It says with too nice a name. And why so? Because it's a metaphor. All these algorithms are a metaphor in the sense that we are attributing, when it's artificial intelligence, it's things that humans do because we are intelligent. And so basically, we assess, we are giving human properties to an algorithm and starts attributing more capacities to the algorithm than the ones that it really has. So I think that, I mean, we are in front of some technological and scientific wonders. I mean, don't be mistaken. I mean, large language models, for instance, are a true wonder. But we need to keep them at the best that they use so that they can deliver their best performance. Okay? So, what broke the game lately are people behind this logo, which of course is OpenAI. And of course, today somebody already quoted this, right? I don't know if it was you, but it's like 4 years ago, things looked completely different, right? And now 2024, after 2023, things have changed completely, right? And why so? Because people have discovered the conversation, right? There already existed chatbots. Come on, language models were already there before, right? After all, the CDI, for instance, that is organizing this conference, was already there to help people to build the best conversational interfaces, okay? But what ChatGPT did, right, is just make people aware that there was a new approach to machine interface. Okay, so usual machine interfaces, computer, the keyboard, the mouse, the screen, that's Bell Labs in the 70s. That's really, really old. That's the people who define how we would interact primarily with computers, right? But now we have a conversation. Now we can interact in a more human way, right? So this is something that is really, really powerful. Second thing, have there been AI applications in the market? Of course. I mean, it's for 70 years also, almost, or maybe more recently, a lot more. But they were very specific to a specialized user. Okay, so there was for instance, you have your forecasting system, or you have your decision support system on financial decisions, right? So who's the user for that? Maybe it's your CFO, maybe is a specialist in some fintech. So it's a person that first knows very, very well on this field and knows very well how the system is working, or an MD, a medical doctor, right, that is getting some assessment on what are the possible diseases that the patient is having, right? So somehow there were applications, but there was a very specialized user that was knowledgeable in this field and that got to know what this application had as strong points, as weak points. But now this is not so. This is universal. What ChatGPT has made is that now everyone, right, is an active user of AI. Okay? And of course, this again excited people's minds, and we are in a fantastic new hype. Don't forget this point. Artificial intelligence, AIs, are tools. Okay? They are tools to do something. I mean, we've had this morning very nice presentations on how to use, or how you should consider when designing an AI tool, right? And all of them were focusing in the fact that they should be helping and they should have a clear purpose. Okay, they should be helping someone. They had a purpose for that, because there were some there. I mean, it's been mentioned twice this morning, right? But there's always humans at both ends of an AI application, right? I mean, it's not AI talking to AI yet. Maybe there will be, but then it will be a little bit pointless, right? So all we do, and precisely this is, all the talks we already had this morning were about people, right? And people just involved with AI and how you interact with it, right? So this is something you don't have to forget. The problem of being a tool and being on the hype is this one, right? Then when you have a hammer head, everything looks like a nail, right? So the point here is, my message is very clear. Not because AI is on hype, right? Not because you suspect that another company is using AI, okay? Because they may say they may be using it now. So I don't remember this morning who said that. Okay, now when everybody knows about AI and everybody is knowledgeable about the field, right? So as a friend said, the good thing about this is that in a few years from now we will have plenty of problems to solve, just to mend all the bad things that this bad AI will have provoked, right? But probably the point would be just to skip that part. Right, so it's not just because AI is fashionable or is powerful that you have to use it, okay? There's another thing that has to be taken into account. Let me raise the complexity of the talk, right? There's another very important point about AI applications, is that it has like 3 degrees of complexity. First one is that, and I'll come back to this, you should be solving a problem. And modern AI is basically based on machine learning, and machine learning needs data for the training, for the testing, and for anything, right? So you have a problem and you have data. But then, after all, AI is math. So basically what you have to do is you have to raise a certain level of abstraction so that you can solve this problem and then come down. So basically, when you have to prepare an AI application, the first thing you have to see is what AI technique would be the most appropriate. And after that, you have to cast your problem into a mathematical problem, and then you have to code it, right? Very few solutions have this level of complexity in the path to abstraction. So this is something that has to be taken into account. So it's not something that you do out of the blue, okay? Now, also, I say anything that has to do with AI. So sometimes people that you feed in data, you have some kind of black box and you get out value out of the blue. And the answer is, of course, not. No way, right? So you have to do you have to take care of your data. You have to take care of your knowledge, right? When you are building conversational systems, so often what you are building is on the knowledge base of your company. And as Peter said this morning, if your knowledge is not curated, what will come out of the system is rubbish. Okay? That sounded like a Scottish castle door. And of course, you have a number of things to also take into account. Now, so what to do? Especially if you are not a solution provider, but if you want to incorporate your AI into your organization, into your company. First important thing, solve a problem. You should be problem-driven. There should be something in the way you do your business. Let it be the product. Let it be some of your processes. Let it be the way you sell. Let it be whatever. But you should solve a business case. You should solve a problem in your organization. If you're not solving a problem, it's just implementing AI just because. And if it is just because, probably you'll spend very good money and you will have, or the application will end up in some cupboard, right, closed. So first important thing, solve a problem. Second important thing, understand the tool, right? So this morning we already had examples of people getting deceived about how AI applications were working. And why so? Well, very simply because probably they put a system to work in something which was not appropriate to, or was not appropriate for. Simple example, this famous chatbot Chevrolet just implemented for his sales, right? And somebody did some very nice prompt engineering, and after the very nice, now you have a teaser of what comes after. After this very nice prompt engineering, basically this customer just purchased a car for $1, right? Now, this is probably was not the kind of experience. Probably the customer experience was very good for this person, right? So this is, I mean, this is not to be denied, but probably it is not very good for the business, okay? So essentially, you need to understand what are the capabilities just to make the most out of the tool, right? The other one is, okay, I don't know if you know the full sentence, but it's don't go solo. So don't go alone. So if you're in a very large company, probably you have knowledgeable people in the organization that could help you with this. But if not, try to get in the hand with some solution provider that can help you and that is reliable, right? And that can help you do the things in the right way. So provide not just because they are selling, but because they want you to help you the business case, the problem you have. So the idea is that if you're not knowledgeable enough, search for a partner. This partner can be a vendor, a solution provider, can be a consultancy company, can be an academic partner, depending on the difficulty of the problem, right? But look for a partner that it helps you through the. So if you don't know the full sentence, it's too dangerous. Don't go solo. Take a Wookiee with you, right? So this is precisely what this thing is about. Okay. Since we have an architecture school here, I think that a quote from the Bauhaus and Mies van der Rohe, the famous architect, is worth at this very time, which is less is more, right? So look for the minimal solution that provides you what you need. In the sense that if you have a solution that is working and it does what it has to do, everybody will be happy about it. And probably you will have better command, better control on what's happened. What's the way to proceed if you don't know where to start? First, it would be good that you have a strategy. If you want to implement, or if you need to tell your customers how to implement some AI applications, start getting some quick wins. So identify some business case that can be implemented fast and successfully. Why so? Because people will get more confident on the technology, right? So once people is more confident on the technology, it's easier to go into more steps. So if you go step by step, you'll get far, right? So this is one of the first. Second, you can start playing with some technologies then, say medium at midterm, you can start playing with some technologies that may be promising, but then you start testing them and you see whether they are providing the solution or they are solving the more important problem that you are looking for, okay? And as a third step, basically you can go into a long-term action. Well, you see here at La Salle, we have very many companies approaching us for looking for AI solutions, right? Usually we start asking what is their problem, and they usually prompt a problem that if you have to talk to them, what you would answer is, this will be 2 or 3 years, okay, just to solve it. Because there's a lot of course, when people comes to us, they have difficult problems, right? Because otherwise they would go to a different solution provider, right? So what do? Instead of telling them, look, this is 2 years, we start looking for these quick wins, okay? And when we find these quick wins, then you can go and solve the problem bite by bite until you get to your final solution, okay? So that works way better, you see? This is what I was telling to you. I was not making it up. So this is the best way to get something that people will be happy using, okay? Second important thing, it's about workflow. These solutions you provide should act well on inside people's workflow. So they must adapt to the user, okay? You have certain ways to do certain things. So your tool should be helping these people to do their job. It's about augmenting people, what we are trying to do, right? Not replacing. Right? We are giving them more capabilities. If you want them to have more capabilities, things should go well with the way they work and the workflow they have. So one has to integrate things inside the workflow. Second thing, management schools tell you that when you have to implement a change in an organization, this is something which is difficult, and that basically you have techniques to do that. This is a process change. Using AI, for some reason, is seen as a major change in the company. So treat it as such. And there is a lot of literature on how to deal with change processes in organizations. So don't forget that. And of course, try to get the best out of it, right? Another very important thing is that if your application works on data or on knowledge, right, or text or data, knowledge is data at the present in the present applications, you should take care for the quality. Don't forget the famous sentence, garbage in, garbage out, right? Let me raise the data quality, okay? And finally, okay, last but not least, you should take care about ethical, moral, and legal points, right? I mean, they have to be by design, as we were told this morning. I mean, there are a number of things, but this is something that has to be dealt with from the very beginning and cannot be forgotten. So, at the very end, what comes out of all this? That you need to know what we are talking about, right? you need to have some literacy on AI. Why? Because you need to know the tool. If you go to a carpenter shop, for instance, you will see that they have a number of hammers, and that they use every hammer, they have hammers for different nails, and they know how to use them. This is a little bit the same thing. The comparison I usually make is with driving cars. Okay? So you need to learn how to drive a car. A car is a powerful tool, right? And it's very good. You need to learn to drive a car. You even got people the license to drive a car. Anyone can get the license. It's pretty easy, but the license is there because we need to make sure that you know how to properly accelerate and brake, right? Just like this, right? So using AI is a very powerful tool, but you need to know how it works just to make sure that you're doing things the proper way. Now, not everybody is a mechanic, right? And knows how to repair the car, and not everyone is a car engineer and knows how to build a car. And not everyone knows how to build a sports car, okay? Everybody uses the car or is related with the car according to their job. But you need to know how to drive a car in order to use it. Final thing is about responsibility. As I told you, there are humans at both ends of an AI application. Both humans need to be responsible. And why so? Because after all, if we are talking about augmenting people, okay, what we are giving is giving people tools to delegate, right? If we had the example of customer experience services. When we have the agent, after all, what we are doing is that the agent is delegating part of what would be his or her responsibility onto the bot system. Okay. Now, if you go to prestigious management schools, what they tell you is that when you delegate, what you delegate is the work, but not the responsibility. Okay. So as we will talk this morning, there should be someone responsible for that. And this is the user, okay? So you have to keep being responsible with the tool, because essentially what you have done is you have delegated a part of your work, but you keep on being responsible for that, okay? And basically this is what should be your role as an AI user, okay? You should know how your tool works, right? And you should keep being responsible for what it does, right? Because it does it for you. So as a summary, just remember, right, that we are in front of math, that these are tools to get something better. These are very powerful tools that we use to delegate part of our work, okay? And don't forget that probably the name is very nice, right? So let your imagination fly, but at least not with the AI capabilities, okay? And this is what Leonardo AI out of this prompt, right? So in front of artificial intelligence, we have to be ethical, responsible, and keep our critical thinking. Thank you very much.